This is Take One with Josie Armstrong.
Well, most of the time it's going to be Take One with Samantha Fremont, but this is a very special episode. So, first of all, we should probably introduce ourselves to all of you lovely people out there. The guest host of this very special episode is Josie Armstrong, who is an editor and media student here at RMIT University, and you're looking forward to a career as a movie and TV show editor, right?
Yes, 100%. I am hopefully looking to expand into post-production after I finish this year.
Awesome.
Beautiful. And this is Samantha.
Hi.
Sam is the host of Take One. Sam started her media career at 17 as a host on SYN's flagship TV show, SYN 1700. Later joined flagship radio show Armstrong. Former host and executive producer of the SYN Media show Earl Grey, where she interviewed some of the biggest names in entertainment, including Michaela Jill Murphy, Joe Franco, and Rochelle Belmont.
Raquel Belmonte.
Oh!
Yeah, it's
got
okay.
it totally wrong. Pronouncing names is obviously not my forte.
Don't worry, I had to ask her how to say her name, so...
As I was saying it, I was like, I know that this is definitely wrong. Completing her media degree at RMIT University, Samantha aims for a career in podcasting or social media, and is now completing her capstone project, being a host and executive producer of Take One with Samantha Fremont. So, now tell me, why the name Take One for your podcast?
Okay, so Take One is kind of based on this, like, you know when you're going through your quarter life crisis and you have like 1,000,001 epiphanies?
Yeah.
Basically, if you treat life like it's an improv theatre show, except it's just ongoing. You've started the scene, and you start making offers and interacting with different characters, but no one's coming to call cut. So you basically, so the scene is unfolding in real time, and you don't really know what's happening next or what to expect as these new characters come in and old ones leave and things like that. But yeah, basically you are just going through life like it is one big improv theatre show.
One big Take One. I guess you never really get to be like, oh, let me rerun that. It's like, it all goes into the same take.
Yeah, and with a lot of live media, like I hosted 1700 and Armstrong, like those were live to air, so if you messed up, which I definitely did,
it was in there.
Basically it was there, it was out there, you couldn't really go back and re-record, so...
Yeah, most definitely. That is a little bit the scary aspect of live media, I guess. Like having to sort of accept that there are going to be mistakes and they are going to be present. I guess that's what it's all about, though. Tell me a little bit more about your experience with hosting, though.
Okay, so I started hosting 1700, and there's actually a really interesting story about how this all got started. Yeah. So basically, I started out as a crew member on 1700. Basically, I was in high school and I wanted to, I guess, get my foot in the door in terms of media production, and someone recommended SYN. So, like, I had my sights set on 1700 from the moment I heard about SYN, because I'm like, oh, they have a TV show. And yeah, basically I'd been crewing on the show, and then and at the time we were recording at the Channel 31, the old Channel 31 studios near Flagstaff Station. So we were like, I think 12 levels up in this building. It was really cool studio space. But one day it was, I think we had like one tech person, the executive producer, and myself, and basically we realized, oh, hang on, the host isn't going to turn up. So Carlin, the executive producer of that episode, was getting ready to host, And I decided to shoot my shot, and I basically said, "Hey, Carlin, could I give it a go? Could I host?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, thank God, I hate hosting."
100% take the reins.
So, yeah, the main problem that we realised is that I wasn't exactly dressed for hosting. I was wearing my school dress. So,
oh my God.
So, yeah, basically we were like, oh crap, can we do this? Can we do this? And thank goodness my high school dress, like, didn't have any logos on it.
Oh, yeah.
So the stripes kind of worked as the school's branding on the dress. So you'll, I don't have the dress anymore, but basically it had the school's colours in those stripes on the dress. And so that was, that was their own little logo. But because it didn't have like the official school logo, it only had the branding colours. It was fine.
Did anyone from your school see the episode?
I don't think they saw that episode.
Yeah.
But later on, I was telling people, "Oh yeah, I've been called back in after I did that one."
They called you back in to host more.
Yeah, Carlin and Jacob was the other executive producer. They Carlin must have said I was actually really blown away by her or something to that effect. And basically
amazing.
Jacob and Carlin reached out and they're like, "Hey, would you like to host the remainder of the episodes for that season?" So
what was
did.
What was part of hosting this TV show? Like, what were you doing?
Okay, so 1700 was a music show. So basically every week we would have a new musical guest coming on the show.
Oh, cool.
So as the host, you would be checking the run sheet. So the other segments of the show were usually you'd have a live performance, and also because we had a full 1 hour slot. So yeah, we didn't have, I guess, a lot of in-studio content. Like, you could have a few performances, but to fill up the full hour we would also have music videos, which included the clip of the day and the clip of the week highlights as well. But yeah, basically you'd start off with an acknowledgement of country, a little teaser of, hey, coming up in today's episode we have a live performance and interviews with this musician, and then of course you would know what's coming up next, and yeah, just basically get people excited for the show.
Yeah.
As well as, okay, and now we are heading to the break, if you needed to say that at some point.
Was a lot of it improv-y, or was it you had a script that sort of...
Yeah, that, honestly, everyone was like, "Oh, did you, like, read off the teleprompter?" And I'm like, we've got, like, the cameras had the teleprompter thing.
Yeah.
No one loaded up a teleprompter, ever.
Oh, really?
So it was literally just improv the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I think ties back as well to why I'm calling this Take One.
Yeah.
Because it is, just like on 1700, you have the one take to get it right, and then also you're improvising the whole time.
Yeah, you're sort of taking it minute by minute, like trying to figure out as you go what you're asking or what you're answering, or... Yeah, I quite like that as a concept. It makes it a lot more natural. I do understand that you were the former host and executive producer of the SYN Media radio show Earl Grey. Earl Grey.
I know.
Earl Grey.
I could grow a little bit taller.
Maybe. So could I. Tell me a bit about that show. Tell me a bit more about Earl Grey.
Okay, so Earl Grey was basically, I named it after my favourite tea, the Earl Grey brew, and then also Captain Picard's favourite brew. So for any of you Trekkies out there, that is definitely a bit of a reference, and you would have heard that actually in the opening for the show on the radio.
Oh, really?
So you can't hear it on any of the podcasts, but basically I cleared it with Stan. You've got but yeah, you can actually hear Picard saying tea, Earl Grey, hot in the episode, in each of the radio intro episodes.
Oh,
radio
that's
episode
cool.
intros.
Yeah.
So yeah, he so yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, basically the vibe was that it would be like going out for coffee with these really cool people and hearing about what they needed to, all of the cool things that they were working on. So I interviewed musicians, actors. Joe Franco is, I guess you would say entrepreneur, polyglot, TV host. Yeah, basically does the whole shebang.
Whole shebang, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of everything. How did you secure him for the show? You just reached out, or?
Yeah, so Joe Franco, well, first of all, I want to mention that one thing I've noticed about Earl Grey, and also I think is going to be applicable as well for Take One, is that you need to get the show like kind of started to start getting these bigger guests. And so the show was, I think, somewhere towards the end of the first season or start of the second season when I reached out to Joe's reps, and yeah, basically I told them, hey, I host this little radio show on SYN. Would you be interested in coming on? And I'd actually watched a few podcast interviews that Joe had done recently.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, basically her reps got back to me and they said, yeah, hey, she can do this interview. And yeah, it was a lot of like navigating different time zones. But the thing is, I thought this interview was totally going to fall through, because I asked, basically, I had something on earlier that day, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the one interview I'm looking forward to the most, but I can't like change this plan. And so basically I was like, can we do it an hour later? And then they're like, oh, we will get back to you and take a look for her availability later on in the year. And then literally on the day that we were due to record that like initial time, they got back to me and they're like, oh, hey, are we still on for today? And I'm like, can we do it 1 hour later?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, sure. And then basically somehow they must have forgotten that we'd even been discussing it in terms of like her time zone in, I forgot she was in Connecticut. So we'd been looking at Connecticut's time zone, thinking that she was still there. And so we scheduled it all in like Connecticut's time zone, and then basically I find out when we connect, she's actually in Greece on that day.
Oh, really?
So we connected when she was like preparing for one of so she runs a journaling club basically, and they do like international retreats, and
she was off on a journalistic
journaling retreat.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. So you were looking at the Connecticut time zone, but
yeah, and I didn't realize until she connected that she was in Greece at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome that you secured her as a guest though.
Yeah.
Did you find it quite daunting speaking to these people, or was it?
Oh my god, yes, definitely. My first of the big guests was Michaela Jill Murphy, who was the voice of Toph in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And
really?
Yeah, and I was so scared, because I'm like, oh my god, this is like the interview that people are gonna look at first.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, and I'm like, I need to make sure this is good. I need to ask the questions that no other interviewer is doing. Because she goes to all of these conventions all around the world, I was like, okay, I want to be cool, and I want to be,
like you want to sort of separate yourself from
I wanted to stand out.
Yeah.
But when you have an interview, basically, because this was a radio show, this is part of the reason why I'm launching a podcast, is because of the radio format, you could only have 6 to 8 minutes per segment, and I went over quite a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically what you do is you'll have your 6 to 8 minutes, just get in the rhythm, and then, okay, and now it is time for an ad break.
Yeah,
and then you have to stop recording and start recording again. And because you've done that, you've lost your momentum. So
yeah, and then you have to get back into it again.
Yeah, and then also as well with Michaela Jill Murphy, I felt like a lot of what I knew about her, I knew a lot about her, I just didn't necessarily know how to ask, and I got really freaked out because I'm like, oh my god, how do I interview someone with like that much to talk about? You know, she's
she has an expansive, like, sort of different sort of life stories that she could talk about. It's hard to pinpoint, I guess, one sort of area.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it went well? Like, you're happy with how it came out?
Honestly, I think I was very, very nervous,
Yeah.
but I have reached out
That's
to her
fair.
for take one, and if it's not going to be in 2025 by the looks of it, I'm hoping that she will come back or be interested in coming on the show in 2026.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially. So, yeah, basically I want to be able to do this one again because I feel like I was a bit too nervous, and now that we've gotten to know each other and gotten to chat, I definitely want to be talking to her again.
Kind of like circle back and be able to interview her again when you've had, I guess, a more expansive podcasting experience.
Yeah, and also being able to just keep it going.
Most definitely. And I'm sure she's worked on so many projects since then. Being able to come back and be like, what have you worked on since then? And sort of exploring those. So what are your goals with Take One, would you say?
Okay, so I have set myself this massive goal of making 100 episodes.
Really?
So this, back in the day when you had like your favorite TV shows like on, I guess, cable TV, you would have like 100 episodes was the benchmark of a good TV show. So if you think about, look, I will say Star Trek Enterprise got to 98 episodes, but I will definitely consider that in the 100 episode
Yeah, that's close enough.
Because, yeah, close enough, and also just a really good show as well. The they had some really amazing episodes, but basically, 100 episodes. You've had your cringe episodes, you've had your really good episodes, but basically when you get to 100, that is when people are like, okay, the show overall has stumbled, but it's overall really, really good. If it gets to that benchmark.
If it gets to that point, yeah. And do you want all of the episodes to be purely interviewing people, or like different sort of formats, or?
Honestly, I would prefer to interview people, just because I know if I do host or solo episodes, I end up rambling on for a very, very long time. But ultimately, I think I think being able to interview people, and I love meeting people, so being able to interview people and learn about their lives and what they're doing is really, really important to me. So that's why I want to focus on interviewing.
Yeah, and what are your sort of themes for this first season? Like, what do you want to explore in this, I guess, capstone project?
Okay, so for this one, definitely just, again, like you're finishing, or I'm finishing, we're both finishing uni. So basically we're heading out into the world, and this is like the first time we're being adults without the training wheels, without the structure of I need to go to class, I need to complete this. You know, when you graduate, it's very much you're kind of in this messy phase of like, okay, now I need to start dealing with and being responsible for all aspects of my life. That includes personal projects, your love life, your friendships, work commitments, basically the whole shebang. And basically it's like each of those have, I guess, like questions you want to know. How do you make friends as an adult? How do you know if your crush likes you back? How do you
Nobody will ever know that.
Yes, man's greatest mystery.
It is. Hardest thing to figure out.
So basically by talking to people, hopefully we will learn a little bit about what it is to be an adult, and also
especially
to be a creative person as an adult. So we all have like our big, I guess, messy adulthood lives, and then as a creative person you channel it into whatever you make. So for me it's a podcast and interviewing, but for musicians it's going to be channeling those feelings into their music, or yeah, for actors you kind of, you know, pick and choose, I guess, how you approach a role.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
How you see, like, how you be that character, plus, like, I'm sure you take things from that character as well, whichever one you're playing. Do you feel like Take One is gonna, like, it'll be helpful as a resource for you to sort of explore, like, what you want to do in the future and what your sort of dreams are in the future?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good resource, not just as a portfolio piece. So the creative graduation project is basically our calling card, but I want this to be more than that. It's going to be a, I guess, an expansion of my skills. I've only done, like, across TV and radio, I've only done those short, snappy interviews, and being able to do something longer form is a development of my skills as a host, hopefully. And I can also go back and look at look at how I've developed. I can learn from my own mistakes, and I can also learn from my guests as well if there's something that they want to talk about as well. Just being able to be like a real, I guess, active listener, and yeah, developing my skills.
Yeah, most definitely. And taking on the advice and the stories that people give you. Are there specific people that you want to interview in your podcast?
Yes, I definitely have a few dream guests.
Yes, a dream guests.
But I honestly was thinking of waiting until I got to like 50 episodes or something to even announce this.
Oh,
but you and I
just expose you. Tell me.
But you and I have already spoken quite a lot about a certain actor who I would love to have on the show, Ben Browder, who is best known for playing John Crichton on the sci-fi TV show Farscape, and was also Cameron Mitchell on Stargate SG-1. So he has just this really like amazing life, and to be able to dive into that would be absolutely incredible. I do have my eyes as well on Maisie Peters, who I did tease back on Earl Grey would have been a dream guest. She is a musician who has opened tours for Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift, and she's also one of the hosts of the Twin Hood podcast. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, and I love interviewing people who also do their own shows, because they're just so, like,
I feel like they understand.
Yeah, they understand it. They get it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. It's kind of, it would feel like a little bit flowier because they understand how to interview and how people are going to answer questions, I guess. What would you sort of talk about with Maisie?
Honestly, with Maisie, one thing I would love to know is, so I found out about her from a news article where she was discussed as like this new emerging musician that Ed Sheeran was supporting in her career. But I want to find out, like, really, how did she begin? Like, how did she get started? How do you get into Ed Sheeran's vision, basically?
I guess it's similar to the, I know we were talking about the readings a little bit beforehand, but there's this one quote where it says, "Be so good they can't ignore you."
Yes.
And I guess that's kind of similar. Like, obviously she was so good that someone like Ed Sheeran was like, oh, I have to support this person.
Yeah.
It's something that, yeah, like, if you continue working on your craft and putting stuff out there, people are bound to notice you.
Yeah, and also as well with her music, she's first of all, she is really like so good that you can't ignore her, but also she's still, like, I guess after you've opened for Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift, you would consider that you've made it, but but you know, you don't stop learning, you don't stop developing.
Yeah,
and
most
so
definitely.
I want to know as well, like, what her goals are going forwards as well, because she's done some really huge things, and
I don't know how she's continuing to sort of develop her career after that. What would you say your dreams and aspirations are, speaking about sort of goals and...
So I really, really want to do a TED Talk. So basically I have actually spoken to someone who's done a TEDx talk before, Josh Cake, who was one of the guests on Earl Grey last year. But yeah, basically I've spoken to him about his experience doing a TED Talk, and his main piece of advice was to essentially work on myself and have the story that you can kind of shape into a TED Talk. So yeah, live that kind of, you know, being able to talk from a place of lived experience.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I actually showed you my favorite TED Talk yesterday, which was Tim Urban's talk. I think it's called Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator. And he was talking about basically how procrastination works, but he did it in a really inventive and comedic way.
Yeah, like
and
informal sort of.
I know I'll be putting a lot of pressure on myself, but hopefully by being able to draw from both lived experience and also hopefully some personal charm that I will develop over the time that I'm making this podcast. Yeah, hopefully I will be able to make a TED Talk, and I'm thinking maybe in like 3 to 5 years time I could be up on that stage. On that big red dot.
Doing a little... So you would make it more like similar to his one, where it's more informal, more I guess casual and not like fully factual based. It's more...
Yeah, I don't want it to seem like an essay.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we've written enough of those.
So many in this course. Too many. Get rid of the essay.
But I've been using, like, every time I've had a class presentation, I've been using it as an opportunity to develop those presentation skills, public speaking skills. So one thing I'll, even though we haven't done a class presentation together, I usually kind of read from my phone a little bit and then glance up at the audience. For a TED Talk, you have to memorize the entire talk.
Oh, they don't let you have like cue cards or anything?
No, it is a 20-minute talk that you have to memorize. I actually saw, I don't know what her name is, but her Instagram handle and handles across socials is Unjaded Jade. And she recently did a TED Talk, and she was posting up how her journey of being invited to do the talk, but then also having to write the talk and learn it. And one way that she did that was by chunking it up into different chunks after she'd written it. I think as well that's something that I'm going to do, and hopefully kind of break it down into, I guess, little bite-sized segments. And I think as well, one thing that further helped me in terms of like memorizing things was so last semester I did a satire murder mystery TV special as part of my Ready Camera One class, and I played Agatha, who was, let's just say she was a maid with a big dark secret. And she, and basically if I was able to learn those lines, then basically that is the beginning of, like, those foundational skills that I already had from doing acting when I was in high school, but I revisited those skills, and basically if I can learn those lines, then it means I've got the skills to go back and learn a TED Talk.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, people like are able to remember hour-long plays and lines from plays. Like, everyone has the ability to do it. It's just like the certain techniques that you use to memorize everything. Yeah, I think you would, and also with the TED Talk, like, you're obviously talking about something that you're really invested in. So I feel like you would get up there and it would just be sort of natural, especially because you've hosted quite a lot. It probably would come to you a bit more naturally.
Yeah, I think once you find, I guess, your rhythm, and also it's going to be, I think, less daunting than 1700.
Yeah.
Because instead of looking directly at the camera, you're looking at the audience. And just like how I'm doing this episode, I really, really wanted to be interviewed for this first episode of the show because I can then kind of look at someone and be like, okay, there is someone watching, and it's not just me rambling and just trying to, get the words out, and actually I feel like I'm making a connection.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope you feel that way.
No, I do feel that way. No, this is my first time, but I feel like it is quite, it does come quite naturally, especially when you're just talking to someone. It is easier than, like, sitting there and looking at a camera, or just sitting there, like, in front of a recording set and just, like, speaking to it. To go back, just because we sort of missed, to circle back, what course are we completing? When did you start? And tell me a bit about the experience in this course.
Okay, so we are both doing the Bachelor of Communication Media at RMIT. This is the course where I tell people I'm a media student, and they're like, oh yes, misinformation in the media, and
Yes.
I'm like, no, I'm not doing journalism.
Yeah,
So,
everyone seems to go down that pathway.
So, yeah, basically we are doing a multimedia production degree, but it's very much choose your own adventure. So, each of the core media units that we've done, you can choose what you learn in each of those, just as long as you complete, just as long as it is a media studio that you are completing, you choose what that studio is. So,
and they're very specific a lot of the time.
Yeah, so I did, so the first media studio I chose was directing performance, where basically you learn everything about writing a script. Again, hi, TED Talk. Writing a script, but you also analysing a script both as a screenwriter, an actor, and a director, and then basically learning how to direct actors, which I think is really important when you're trying to, I guess, direct someone as well who's, like, I've interviewed people who've had heaps of experience with interviewing, and then people who have had, like, their first interview, and sometimes they just need a little bit of bit of reassurance and a little bit of guidance, and being able to do that as well. And then learning as well how to frame scene. And actually one really cool thing that we learned was so our teacher for this unit was Sebastian Bertoli, who is a director. I think he's just made his own feature film.
Really?
He actually taught us one thing that I found really, really helpful, which was when you want to direct a scene, you can use like little, we used pens and texters to literally try and mark out how actors would be framed, and then you just take photos on your phone, and then that works as your storyboard.
Ah, okay.
So, because I thought you had to stand there with a pencil and try and, draw it all out.
Like,
it would
really
take,
nicely
10
draw
hours.
it, yeah.
But no, being able to just sort out your framing that way is really good. And But basically, so our piece that we produced as part of that unit was the scene that we wrote and directed, and in my case starred in as well. So
so you really got to a bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then moving forward, I did the Room with a View studio, which was a radio studio. But I kind of regret doing that one because I was doing Earl Grey at the same time, so I feel like I didn't really gain anything from that aside from learning how to make a radio package. But I'd done
like
the
it
podcasting unit as well, so I'd already knew those skills.
So you feel like it didn't help doing Earl Grey alongside it? So it was like you were learning things from the class and then implementing them to Earl Grey, or was it more so you just had those skills already?
It was because I already had those skills. I'd already hosted RMIT before that.
Yeah.
So I did it mainly because you would be producing radio content for 3RRR, and you would be, and our teacher as well had a lot of experience hosting radio. So I was thinking, oh yeah, it's great, you can put 3RRR on your resume. But in hindsight, I regret doing that because I feel like I could have had, I guess, a bit more an experience that would have expanded my skills rather than just reinforced them.
The same ones.
Yeah. So I did it, but I'm not really. That's the one I would go back if I could go back in time. I would I would go back and choose a different studio.
Yeah.
But then I can talk about the other two, the last two that I did. So basically the next studio I did was called Real People, Real Lives, and it was a documentary filmmaking unit led by Rowan Spong, who is a documentary director. I'm just trying to remember what his film was called. I keep on. I'm drawing a blank. I forgot, but he's okay. But we did see a little bit of his documentary, and our unit was pretty much you sat down with someone really cool and recorded this big 20-minute interview, and then turned that into a documentary through all of the other filmmaking techniques that you learnt. So it really drew on what I knew from, or what I learned in directing performance. And then also it was my first time working collaboratively on an interview kind of thing as well. Since Artsman, I was very insistent about Earl Grey being like a solo show to showcase, and I was also very protective over it as well. Yeah. But being able to make this documentary film in collaboration with Olivia Jones was really good. So being able to work on how you collaborate and interview at the same time, and sort of working with other people's ideas as well. Yeah, I feel like we get a lot of that in the course. Yeah, and that's what really shaped how the whole film came together, was Olivia. And also, I will say, we decided together that she would be the one actually conducting the interview with Jill, who was our subject, because Olivia and Jill had that established relationship. Whereas if I'd done it, I think we would have had a different energy. So, it's also, I think, a lot about...
with one of my classes as well.
What class?
We did, do you know Zephyr?
Oh yeah, it was which is another documentary one. Yeah. But how is it different from Real People, Real Lives?
I think Real People, Real Lives is broader. You can sort of, from what I'm guessing, it sounds like you can sort of choose whatever subject or stream you want to go down, whereas Zephyr is more so, they specifically want you to interview a young creative. Like, it's about young creatives. And it's a sort of whole series that have to fit together into one. Whereas I think Real People, Real Lives is, the works are separate. Yeah. Whereas these ones, he was adamant about the fact that I think it was 6 of them, had to sort of lead in, like, work together as a whole series, because they all followed the same theme. But we also had, for my group, my subject was friends with somebody in my group, and that was the deciding point of who interviewed, because it is different depending on if the subject knows the interviewer, and like that connection is just like visible and like audible when you're interviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it creates a very different experience.
So the last studio I did was the Ready Camera One studio, where I made where I worked very collaboratively. Like the entire class was like a big film crew, and we all worked together to make this show. And we had a very, very limited time window, but the fact that we were able to do essentially 2 episodes of this TV special, and yeah, it was an absolute wonderful like feat of, I guess, collaboration to be able to make that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And getting everyone to do like their very specific roles and everyone filling their part.
Yeah.
It is a big feat. A lot of the projects that we do are very big feats, especially this capstone project.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for helping me out with my capstone project.
No worries.
And yeah, I am very keen to see where this show goes over the next, 1 episode down, so 99 to go.
99 more.
So
good luck with the rest of your episodes. I hope everything goes well. It was nice speaking to you.
Thank you, and I hope everything goes well for you in your future as well. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, signing out.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.